Well, I think you notice when you go onto a Diag Day and there's like an Israel group on a Diag Day, there's always another Arab group or Palestinian group to counteract that. And like they're not working together, but they're there as two separate entities.
You don't want to reach out to that other group, and you don't want to work with that other group, because that might delegitimize you, and that might make you look weak.
I mean, we want to kind of get, I guess both sides on this campus to interact socially, at least politically, like just on, at least for the people that are willing to communicate, have them, provide a place and space for them to, express their opinions and communicate within each other, something that has not been available, which to me, one of the main reasons why it's like there's so much tension between those two groups.
I think when people are blindly shouting back and forth at one another, I think the message is completely lost, and people just kind of turn off to it, especially when it's completely one-sided.
But a lot of times, like especially with the Israeli-Palestinian groups, there are issues that I've observed where the difference in politics and the disagreement really comes out in the way they interact with each other. There's not a lot of big movements for coexistence, and each one will say that it's the other group's fault.
What's important is, we believe the dialogue is really important, not just with Jews and with the pro-Israel community, with people from the other side too, and we don't want to outreach to them. We support, that's why we support groups like Bridge the Gap.
While we are political in our nature, in that whole tying culture into politics, I think we would like to serve a social organization as well, to provide a forum for Palestinian students to get together and to feel comfortable, because as I said, there's a lot of discomfort and intimidation on this campus if you're Palestinians. For us, progressive Zionism means that we believe that the state of Israel should exist as a Jewish state, but we believe that it's equally as important for a Palestinian state to exist alongside of that.
Those groups don't do anything. They really don't do anything. I mean, they do some things. They're the voices for that community. But a lot of people that would be moderate, that are the voice, just go, I don't want to have anything to do with that.
One of the main reasons we create this group, so people, moderate views, people are ready to listen and sit down and say and talk, understand the other side, not necessarily even accept or change one's own point of view, but just know what the other side thinks and why they think so.
We have had some negative responses because there are very extreme groups on this campus, but so far we've been lucky enough that they have been more quiet than loud.
I mean, if there's, on campuses there's Jews and Arabs, there's always a need for space to communicate, and I think that's why Bridge the Gap would succeed in a lot more campuses than just Michigan.
To have a successful student group, you need some sort of focal point. And a broad issue doesn't really work for that, because you can do anything. You can say, if a group is about awareness, it doesn't really work, because you don't have, what can you do? You raise money for awareness.
Well, the group was founded last year by myself and a bunch of other people who were interested in establishing a Palestinian voice on campus, because there was a lot of academic-based work on the issue of Palestine, but there wasn't any really cultural representation of Palestinian people, of our struggle, and of the types of issues that we find important. I came to campus and I didn't want to get involved in Israel activism, because I didn't identify with the Israel activism that went on campus. A lot of it to me was very blind and very one-sided and more to the right, which I don't identify with.
In the 3 years I've been here, I've been on this campus, I've seen a lot of tension between Arabs and Jews.
Yeah, well, since I am of Palestinian origin, my father's Palestinian, so it's definitely been something that I've had very consciously in my life, like since I was a kid. And when I came to campus as a freshman, I was very much alienated by the campus culture because it was so overwhelmingly pro-Israeli.
The main point is to really mobilize students here to try and voice their opinion, because there's a lot of people who have apathy towards the entire situation. And though they might be pro-Israeli or pro-Palestinian, they really aren't active and don't do anything about it. And
I mean, we talk about, a lot of people say, oh, like, like, what's the point? You're never, like, actually going to change anything. But, one thing I believe is, change comes one small step at a time, no matter how small it is.
The idea is unity, not uniformity so much. Uniformity isn't really necessarily healthy beyond the point of we need to agree that, Israel, should exist, and that it should have safe and secure borders, and then the same for a Palestinian state. I think that that's really, and the rest we can talk and have a discussion about the details of that. I think that that's really the only premise that we really need to have, and then from there, I think that you can sit down and have dialogue.
I think that what UPZ, a group like UPZ, has the potential to do is to say, there's a middle ground, we're the middle ground, we exist here on campus.
I'm so pro-Israel, and like Fu, who's like my other co-president, he's so pro like Arab and Palestine, but like you can be pro your country but still understand when your country's doing something wrong.
So our goal has a few different levels. First, there's an educational goal. We want to educate people about Israel, not just the conflict there, but about Israel, like what we love about Israel, what we like about Israel, what we want to change about Israel, what Israel is, what it means to us personally, and what it should mean to other people, to kind of to share it all around, and to facilitate discussion about that. We're not here to tell you what you should believe about Israel, which is one of the reasons why it has such a broad, belief system. We're here to help you find your own belief in what Israel means to you. I think the real thing that's lacking is the trust. We trust ourselves within our own pro-Israel community, although there would even be parts that might not get along as well. The problem is if we don't trust the people who we're having a dialogue with, then it becomes pointless because we're not being honest with each other. And if we're not being honest with each other, then we're wasting our time.
It's kind of like, it's sad to see when people just can't communicate, and then you let the extremes of both sides speak, making it look like even worse.
But today on this campus, what we do is a little limited in scope. We're affecting the campus community. So I would like to say that we made the campus community a better place, that we helped bring students together from all spectrums, from all sides, and really helped to foster a positive relationship. Not an agreement on everything, but a positive relationship and an understanding between all these different groups.
In years to come, we want our legacy to be that we started something different than the already existing Israel or Palestinian or Arab groups on this campus. We want to become a prominent middle ground, and that for people to understand that there is a way to coexist, and for that to leave Michigan, and for other campuses to be like, look what was started at Michigan, and look what we can accomplish as well.
In future years, when we come back, say 5 years from now, Bridge the Gap's still around, and we want to see people, Jews and Arabs on this campus, sitting there and interacting, learning from each other, and even if they disagree, and they can't get an agreement, but the whole point is to listen to each other and talk. If you don't talk, how are you gonna learn, really? I think we're done.
Okay.
Thanks, Nancy.